Hi guys, we're in Windhoek, the capital of Namibia, and we've been traveling around Namibia for a couple of weeks now.
We think we've picked up some pretty good tips that we want to share with you for your essential Namibia travel experience. So let's take it away.
In case you're not aware guys, Namibia is in southern Africa on the west coast, just above South Africa and just below Angola. It's pretty sparsely populated. There's about 2.5 million people living here, and it's actually an ex-German colony, so there's a lot of German influences, including your wursts and sauerkraut. English is widely spoken throughout the country. In fact, we haven't really come across anybody who doesn't speak English, but Namibia has a number of national languages.
Safety is something that's really important to consider wherever you travel. Here in Namibia, we've actually found Namibia to be one of the safest countries we've ever travelled to. We've felt safe the whole time we've been here. Some things to watch out for though include that you're going to have to pay for car parking in most places, and that's to pay a guy to watch your car so no one breaks into it. You also need to watch out for wild animals at night. Particularly driving at night, you need to be careful because wild animals cross the road and there's very little visibility. Also, if you're camping, the animals, you need to stay within the perimeter of the campsite because actually there are leopard and other big game and other big cats out there that could very well eat you.
The currency in Namibia is the Namibian dollar, which is tied one-to-one with the South African rand. You can actually use the South African rand to pay in Namibia as well. So if you're traveling around the area, you just draw South African money and you're good to go. You do, however, have to draw cash in the cities because although bank cards are accepted throughout Namibia, if you're traveling in more remote areas, then cash machines might not be as available or you might not be able to pay by card.
Namibia is not a super cheap country to visit, but it's not super expensive either. The currency here is Namibian dollars, and on average I would say that a beer costs no more than $30, neither does a coffee. It can be much cheaper than that. A meal is less than usually $300, and the most expensive accommodation we had was a campsite which was $400 for 3 people and 1 car. So those are kind of the costs that you're looking at if you want to stay here. Okay guys, this may look strange, we're in a supermarket called Checkers. I've taken you here because we made the fatal error of not thinking about what supermarkets we should shop at before we went out into the country. And actually Checkers is our favourite supermarket because it stocks everything. And that's quite unusual in Namibia. So our advice is basically go to Checkers when you land in Windhoek, restock at Swakopmund, because once you're out in the countryside there's very little food that you can buy. Most of it is tinned, very little fresh food, and actually if you're staying at safari camps or other campsites, they will often try and reduce the amount of food available to you so that you're forced to use their restaurants. That's not to say there isn't a lot available at campsites. You can buy braai meat there, which is the Namibian and South African kind of national cuisine. It's just a barbecue. You can buy wood for the braai, so you have a nice fire and you can cook. You can often get packs of beer and wine there too.
When should you go to Namibia? The best time to go is the dry season, which is the Northern Hemisphere's summer and Southern Hemisphere's winter, and roughly between the months of May and September. That means it's cooler here and it's drier, so there's no rain, the animals are out and gathering at watering holes.
So you need 2 to 3 weeks to do Namibia properly. On the essentials list is Etosha Safari Park in the north. You need to do the Skeleton Coast, Sossus Vlei, and in the south, Fish River Canyon.
We booked everything beforehand online and over email. We booked everything ourselves, which is a little bit more difficult, but you can also go through the major tourist companies in Namibia, which are Gondwana Collection and Namibia Wildlife Resorts.
We hired our car from Desert Car Hire, which is super easy, super simple, and actually really flexible as well. We actually returned it a day later and got it a day earlier than we paid for. We also got tents on the top as well so that we could camp at a lot of the campsites. It's much cheaper than getting a lodge. It's about 10 Namibian dollars, 11 Namibian dollars per person, and I'd recommend doing that too because actually they're super comfortable, more comfortable than your average tent.
You should also book well in advance if you want to get spots in those much coveted campsites in the national parks like Etosha, but also in the Vlei National Park, because although Namibia is vast, there are very few spots in campsites. Some of them only have 10 spots, some of them have up to 20, but basically they go very quickly, so it's good to book well in advance. We only booked about 2 months in advance and we didn't get spots in national parks. So we would recommend probably about 6 months in advance if you want to get those spots. We also just wanted to mention some of our essential, non-obvious items to bring to Namibia, ones that we really think we couldn't have done the trip without.
So first up, I'm going to mention my camera cleaning equipment. Most importantly was the compressed air that I brought along. The environment here is so dusty that your cameras get really dirty really fast, and because we had that compressed air we could keep them clean.
My top item is my puffer jacket. Now I was really against getting one when Jack was like, we need puffer jackets. I was like, I do not want to look like the Michelin Man, but they pack away really tight, they're super light, and it gets very cold here at night because it's basically a very dry environment. This is the desert, so it just gets really cold and you want that extra layer.
My second item is this character here, which is a desert scarf. I actually bought it as a novelty item that I thought would be funny to have around in the desert, but actually it's become super useful and never leaves my neck. And that's again because it's dusty. You can protect your face from the dust when you're driving. You can also protect your whole face from the sun, which I've done many times. And also you can use it for all kinds of things like drying your hands and carrying stuff. It's just an all-round practical and useful item that I couldn't do without.
The next item I'd like to mention is lip balm. It is really dry in this country, and there was a point at which we had a bit of a low when everyone's lips were basically cracking and it was a bit disgusting, and lip balm saved us there. So don't underestimate how dry it is. Your skin will feel dry, your lips will feel dry, so just come prepared.
My third and final item is going to be my zoom lens for my camera, because if you're going to come to Namibia or Southern Africa, you're probably going to visit a safari park, and the best way to get up close with the animals is actually through a zoom lens. So I'd really recommend that.
Okay guys, that is it for our essential tips for visiting Namibia and countries like it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a little thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more.
You can also watch what we got up to in Namibia in our vlogs, so check those out because they're incredible. They really are.
And if you have anything else to add to sort of tips for going to Namibia or Southern Africa, then please leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you have to say as well.
Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye from Namibia.
In the next one.